I guess this is the place that you can definitely go and get something. Something like what? Whoa. Still a little bright for my taste, but fuck it, we're gonna go along with it. What's up, everybody? What up, Dang? Everybody. I haven't been around for a minute, but like I was watching some videos and they were battling and shit, and it just kind of inspires me a little bit to be kind of like talking that shit back, you know? I took like a year in hiatus, but it still seems like, man, this Rosa Parking boycott sort of effect just isn't really doing it. Seems like a lot of people are content with like not seeing some of the best motherfuckers fight ever. But like, I'm still kind of like watching them and shit, and you know, there was some messages I sent some of them motherfuckers and all that shit. But like, cause like they be going on Twitter and shit, and we be working and shit. I got chewed out of work the first time today. My video just stopped a little while ago. I'm wondering if they're watching my shit. I was gonna say some funny, cool shit at the same time, but man, I saw some inspiration I never seen before from a human being. I used to think this dude was in high school, kind of nerdy and stuff back in his days and all that shit. But nah, he ended up like fucking looking at me with demeanor today. The dude that cuts my checks and all that shit. He's like, Angel, this place is looking like a motherfucking filth. What the fuck is wrong with you? Everything I said, I knew was gonna be an excuse, and I was just like, man, I was so proud of that 3 week project I had to kind of guide. Not that I was doing the work; these motherfuckers were doing the work, but I just had to make sure like they were doing the work. You know, so it was just kind of like a little bit different. But he pointed out what I already knew. Man, I was so angry because I knew there was some tactics I could have used and just been real about it. And nah, they were all just kind of like kind of taking advantage in a low key way that I never seen before. So a couple days ago, I was trying to make a statement like, "Hey, bro, I know you guys clown, do whatever, ha ha ha, he he, whatever the fuck it is that you guys like tickle and shit, and like, ooh, get that little like effect factor that makes you kind of like giggly and shit. I smoke weed, that shit makes me feel good sometimes, you know. I get the giggles and shit, but I don't even act that retarded. You know, sometimes it's kind of like weird and stuff. People say a bunch of weird stuff, and then you're kind of like forced to not say anything ever again. They're like, every time you say something, you open your mouth. Like, it's some mean stuff, and people are like kind of tired of it. They're scared. They think you're gonna do something wicked and evil. And it's like, come on, man. Like, I'm a fucking realist, dude. Like, all y'all motherfuckers shaking it on Twitter and that TikTok type of shit. I mean, shit, the explore buttons never look better and all that stuff, but like, damn, I ain't complaining. Like, everybody seemed like they got like something to like point at you. Like, why are you so depressed? I'm not depressed, dang. What the fuck, you think a boycott takes that easily? Didn't you see like Stater Brothers get shut down and all these other stores kind of like, you know, we want our rights and we want medical and, you know, now like all these other countries that got them free phones, they got internet and technology are fucking getting the best type of medical insurance, and we're still here kind of debating on how much money we gotta send to contribute to like people over there getting down and shit. Motherfuckers want to get down over here, but like nobody's really kind of like accepting like the challenges and fighting. So we're figuring they gotta get prepared, you know? Like they're like, oh, they're coming out vicious from over there and over there and over there, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck where they getting prepared from. They like, I've been watching MMA for a long ass time. Here in Cali and shit, I'm just like Mexican blooded and Latino, like to the hardcore. Like Aztec and a little bit of Mayan blood in me and shit. They like, I wanna like kind of like figure out like what's up. I've been working forever and everything like that, and I like to consider myself a patriot or soon to be. But I know where I was born too, and I know like these guys are just kind of like looking on like Twitter, like they're taking selfies like while they're on Twitter and all that shit, wearing a little crown and all that shit. Like it doesn't make sense, man. Like people are like kind of like, you know, getting behind someone that like inspires like bending the knee, you know, like that's kind of mean. Like everybody kind of went through a tough time because of that type of shit. And like I get criticized because I see all kinds of mean things, but a motherfucker's actually kind of embracing it and wearing a crown at the top of that. It's like how much like customization did it need when you look like that little head that falls down in the Mario video game that tries to crush Mario? Huh? Like, yeah, I get it, bro. Like, you think you're cool and making all these funny little things and all that shit. But in the first like 3 years, like 4 years ago, like I've been talking and talking and talking, and now like none of your opponents say yes to fight with you, but like I've been saying like what's up, and You're still not saying anything. It's kind of making me kind of like question like the actual caliber of Olympic sports in general. You know, it's not that Simone Biles like broke under pressure. It's like she's a little diva. She probably wanted a frappuccino. She wanted to get out of there. Like I'm too good for this shit. But she probably saw a girl like do some badass flips and shit, and she just didn't want to lose. Little motherfucking divas all the time, inspiring all these MMA fighters to be like a little sissified and shit. Like, you know, you got like people like vloggers, like these little like these little dudes that like Logan Paul did good in the wrestling and all that shit. I'm not gonna take anything away for that motherfucker. But like and like girls that are like 115 pounds and all that shit. But like when a dude that like labors all his life and it's like fucking insanely cardioed and calls you out and been calling you out and has like creative wordplay just because like Spanish was his natural language, and it sounds like you're kind of like reading it off a book, or you're not trying to respond, and it's just kind of like frustrating. Everybody heard the same record. I just wanted to summarize like it's about to be a new season. Like what the fuck is next? Like da 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 da. Like kind of weird stuff like that. I was kind of thinking like, oh, like man, it was a shitty day at work. I got chewed out first time in a long time. But then I'm like, man, like something started like coming into me like yeah, it's work and shit like that. But like fuck it, dang. I'm gonna use all that anger these motherfuckers kind of like embedded me and shit. And I'm just gonna use it for this. And I'm gonna make like that first video kind of like trying to get back in there. Not really trying to get back in there, just trying to talk that shit, you know? Not really like talking to it. Cause like I was starting to think like, all right, they want to shut you up because like they don't want to hear your voice or something like that, right? So it's like they want to shut you up. You're walking around, they're like, they actually shut you up. Like I'm choosing to shut the fuck up. Like they ain't shutting me the fuck up, there. It's not like I've been talking all that shit too. I just haven't been recording it or anything like that. So when they say like, oh, I shut the fuck up, like they're fucking out of their fucking mind, dang. You know what pisses me off is like people say like they called me out and shit. Like they went on my Instagram or like my fucking social media accounts and they try to call me out. And I saw that shit on the internet, but like they're bullshitting, dang. They never called me out, dang. I swear to God, like take like a polygraph to see if like that shit was real, dang. No one ever fucking asked me, dang. So now I'm looking back at some of these ancient fucking like call outs that they supposedly did. They never called me, dang. So I don't want people to think like and get it all fucked up. Like I said, yet like nah, man, they try to block everything from me for them to like actually even get a hold of me to like fuck these fools up, dang. Cause at the end of the day, I'm still a fighter, dang. Like I've been working and shit, and I get tired and shit, but I have a lot of aggression right now too. I'm sure I could transition that into like hardcore training if I really wanted to, dang. But like these fools just still scared, you know. Like, hey, I want to call out you and 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 how many motherfuckers said yeah, dang, and you're already a big name, you know. I'm trying to give you that little bit of credibility because you can't talk that shit like me, dang. Too much wrestling or some shit. You got a Colgate smile. When are you gonna start doing your presentation or your speech on how you're gonna roast me? You know, talking all that shit all the time, dang. They say like Colgate's like the most money making and you haven't even got a sponsor by them, dang. My shit's crooked and shit. So I'm teaching you all the weaknesses and shit, but like you still don't want to come at me, dang. So like we're still like waiting and shit. Honestly, like in the whole MMA game, dang, like the entire motherfucking world, no one got the same talk, like shit talking game like me, dang. Maybe I come in and get fucked up. That's cool. That's understandable. Like I could accept that shit, but you still gotta recognize that I helped you build it, dang. So thinking about going to other motherfuckers, thinking like they're gonna like help you, like, but see at the same time, all this talky shit is just talk. Talk is cheap. You get in my face, like you really try to punk me, you try to like throw a feint and shit. I'm still gonna crack you back, dang. I'm not scared, dang. Like I like fighting, dang. For me, it's all about preparation. This work's getting fucking boring for me, dang. It's been like how many years now since you retired and you still haven't got a fight? You know, shit. Like I don't even care who it is, dang. Be figure eight or doing his angry stares and all that shit. Think you're gonna take a picture with Joe Rogan oh, we're gonna take a selfie with him and shit. Like, ooh, now he's in our team. Motherfuckers staring your whole team down here, like looking at all y'all motherfuckers, like, damn, these are little people. Looking at that fucking like weird looking motherfucker that looks like Joe Rogan and shit. He's like, "This is supposed to be my evil twin." And Rogan's like, I kick him in the face once, dang. You know? And they try to play that like slip a dollar in his hand and shit to see if he wants to take a selfie. Like I caught that shit, dang. That shit was kinda weak, dang. Motherfucker like would have slipped over here, dang. And shit, try pulling that shit at the liquor store, dang, you get fucked up. But seriously, dang, like I mean like shit, like, you know, it's kind of cool when like you think like because you're a little dude and you got like all this entourage of little motherfuckers that just like nut riding. But sometimes there's like little bad motherfuckers like me that like we don't have that little goofy feeling effect sort of like approach me because I'm humble type of shit. Like we still bad motherfuckers, dang. Like we like to go crazy and like do all kinds of crazy shit too, dang. But I ain't gonna dumb myself down to like give like the world a false image of like the best type of motherfucking flyweight gotta be, dang. This motherfucker doesn't represent me. That's why I've been calling him out, dang. Because if I had an opportunity to hold that belt, man, like, man, I treat that shit like it was like nobody's fucking business, dang. There's a lot of flyweights out in the world, and I don't want to be a gimmick when it comes to like representing for that shit. But you kind of make a joke out of it, you know? And it's like, yeah, I don't socialize myself, or I don't like categorize myself like in whatever category he is to be the best, you know? Because like I'm a different type of breed of fighter, dang. Like if I had like that status thing, like I'd be actually taking care of it.